All good. I'm Shane Bassett from Triple M, Australia. Hello, Alessandro.
Nice poster you got there. Nice background.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. Have you been approached to appear in the upcoming project, Face Off project?
It's a sequel. I fall to my death in the first one. But I mean, maybe my ghost. I don't know.
Anything can happen in movies. Come on. Alessandro. I've got to say, Alessandro Nivola. Did I say your name right? Because everyone must get it wrong.
Yeah, you're like the only person who's ever gotten it right.
You've come a long way, mate, since Best Laid Plans. That is a terrific film.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
It holds up. And who do you think might win the US Open? It's down to the final.
Well, it's tough to bet against Joker these days. He just looks so unbeatable. I guess if I really have to guess, it'll probably be him. I wish somebody would take him down, but I'm going tomorrow night to see him play Sasha Zverev. So yes. That's going to be his biggest challenge, obviously, so far in the tournament. So we'll see. I mean, Zverev's been on fire all season long. I just saw him play live in Cincinnati a few weeks ago because my kids are filming in Cleveland this Noah Baumbach movie, and we drove 3.5 hours down to the Cincy tournament to watch Zverev play Tsitsipas in that tournament, and he looked really, really strong. So maybe he can do it. We'll see.
Oh, that's great. Your children are acting as well. You're going to have this whole family of winners, Oscar winners at
dynasty. It's a dynasty.
We'll try and keep it spoiler free, but you have some intense chemistry with Ray Liotta, some serious interactions on 2 levels. How was that experience opposite Ray?
He was the person I was most excited to work with and also most frightened to work with in this movie because he's first of all from that place and of all of us had the most authentic background to play the role and to be in this world. He is also mob royalty, having been in arguably the greatest mob movie of all time, and he's also a really committed actor. So I was very nervous to work with him. I think a couple weeks in, he sent me a text saying that I reminded him of himself as Henry Hill, and wow. That was kind of, I think, just the greatest affirmation I could have had for this part, and it really kind of set me on my way and gave me the belief in myself to really start to enjoy it as we went through the shoot.
That's a great compliment, I've got to say, and you deserve it. You have a serious impact yourself in this movie. And David tells me you did a self-tape, but you weren't one of the first to be cast. But to get the lead, that must have been pretty special for you in such a legacy of Sopranos.
Yeah, I think I was the first cast. I was the first person cast. Michael was cast, I think, a month or 2 after me, and then everybody else kind of fell into place. But no, I mean, this was like it's the biggest role of my career, no question. And I've waited 25 years for it. And the minute I got it, like I knew that it was like potentially life-changing, and I had 6 months to prepare, thank God. And I really, normally I'm cast a week before the movie starts because some other guy dropped out, and this time I had that time, and it really makes such a difference to the process and to being able to get the real detail and specificity of a character.
Well, moving forward, Dickie does have a major influence on Tony Soprano. Did Michael and you talk about that before the cameras rolled, or did it just all develop on screen through the script?
We spent a lot of time together. We used to get together and have lunch at this diner nearby where I live here in Brooklyn called Junior's Cafe in downtown Brooklyn. And we would, just like have lunch and chat and talk about our lives and being actors. And we didn't really kind of sit down with a script or anything and get into much detail that way. It was totally casual. But by the time we started filming, we really had an ease together. And I really felt a kind of filial affection towards him. And I think we both had this pressure on us because he was obviously recreating this iconic role of his dad's. And I, as I told you, was aware of what an opportunity this was for me. And so we both had a lot riding on it. And I think we kind of bonded over that a bit. And so, yeah, we really had we really were tight by the time we started shooting, which was important because David is so unsentimental that he doesn't write that stuff in. Like the scenes are us just, being very kind of tough on each other in the scenes.
They are, yes.
You just have to sense the love, and so that just had to be there.
So tell me a little bit about the food on set. Did you gain any weight during the production with all that Italian food?
I didn't gain weight from the food. I did, want to change my body a little bit for the role, and I had the feeling that the character had probably been a boxer when he was younger. A lot of those guys had like amateur boxed and stuff when they were younger, and I just wanted to be physically intimidating. And I worked with a trainer a lot to kind of not get like, fat, bulky, but like to be sort of like really look like I was strong. And that was one part of the preparation. But no, the Italian food was I eat that anyway.
Were you channeling Christopher Walken at any point? Now and then I was like seeing the King of New York walking around.
Hey, I like that. I didn't have him in mind, although I have worked with him before. I played his son in the movie, and in fact, we were in Atlantic City once, and he'd always told me that when we were filming in Albuquerque, that he said, Albuquerque, they're not my people. And then we were in Atlantic City, and we were filming across from this methadone clinic, and all these like drug addicts came across the street pointing at him saying, "Hey, it's the King of New York." And he looked over at me and he said, "These are my people."
Oh, that's great. And that is so typical Walken. I love it. And your accent, your impersonation is terrific of him. Were there any episodes of The Sopranos in particular that you might have rewatched or focused on for any ideas?
Well, I watched them all, I watched them all, obviously, to prepare for the role. But, one interesting thing was that my grandfather was an Italian sculptor, and there was a scene that they shot where they were in Naples. It's an episode called Commendatore, and they went over there and they shot a bunch of scenes. And it just so happened that there'd been an exhibition of my grandfather's on at the time, and
wow.
They shot on a location that happened to have one of his sculptures in the back of the shot. If you look closely, you see that's his sculpture back there. And in fact, there was even a clearer shot of it. That's one of my granddad's sculptures. And it was just a total coincidence. I told David, I was watching the show as sort of research after a week after I'd been cast, and I saw it there, and I just couldn't believe it. And I called him up and told him, and he thought he was spooked.
And final thing, we're wrapping it up. Please tell me, do you think people need to know the Sopranos series to watch the film? Personally, I don't know a lot about the series. I'm more of a film critic, but I still got a lot out of the movie, especially the race relations side of it. Very appropriate.
Well, I think David was determined that the movie and the story of the movie and the way that it was designed was to be an autonomous, self-contained story that didn't rely on a prior knowledge of the series, and that's why he built the story around a character, my character, who didn't exist previously in the series, except for, in a kind of mythology where people talked about him. And in fact, he even said to me when we started shooting, listen, don't pay any attention to anything that anybody said about you in the series, because they're all liars. So I really had like total freedom as the actor to create the character from scratch without any dependence on the series. And I think that is true of the audience being able to watch the film without needing the series. But obviously there's plenty in it for the fans as well.
Oh, for sure. Thank you very much. Great to meet you. And Neon Demon was another appearance you had, was terrific as well. You're a great actor, mate.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Really nice to talk to you.
Say hello to Emily for me.
I sure will. I sure will. She's downstairs.
All right, JPI, let's cut.